Once upon a time, in the small town of Northwick, lived Will and Terry Smith. The Smiths had 3 spotted Great Danes, the father, Baxter, the mother, Lily, and their baby puppy, Buddy. These Great Danes lived like royalty. One sunny Sunday afternoon, the Smiths were getting Baxter, Lily, and Buddy ready for their daily walk. As the Smiths and their dogs took a left out of their driveway, the chocolate dachshund named Ronnie wiggled and squirmed his way out of his fence a few doors down. Ronnie's owner, Linda, was in her backyard gardening and not paying very close attention to her dog. Ronnie wandered up to the Smith's house. He sniffed around the house until he came across the biggest doggy door that he had ever seen. Ronnie hopped his way inside and was immediately drawn in by the massive doggy bone laying on the other side of the kitchen. Ronnie was attempting to pick up Baxter's bone, but found that the bone was too big for him. Sad, he began to look around the house for other bones and spotted a smaller one. It was Lily's. Still, Ronnie couldn't seem to pick up the bone in his mouth. Ronnie decided to give up and jump up on the couch and take a nap. After laying down, he picked up his head and looked around the room for a second, and there it was, a third and smaller bone in the living room underneath the recliner. He jumped up and scurried over to see if he could handle this one. Mission accomplished, Ronnie said to himself as he happily picked up Buddy's bone and took it back to the couch. Yum. Finally, he thought. After finishing the bone, Ronnie decided he was ready to tour the rest of the house. He walked into the office, chewed up a few papers that he found on the floor, and continued on his way. A few rooms later, Ronnie found himself in front of a dog's dream. And tried to climb up into Baxter's lofted bed. After several attempts, Ronnie realized that the bed was just too tall for him. He had no chance, so he decided to try out the bed closest to the ground. It was Buddy's bed. Although the bed was the perfect height for Ronnie, he was so long that his nose and his back feet hung off the bed. With little hope left, Ronnie backed up and started running towards Lily's bed. Thump! Ronnie stuck the landing, and boy was it comfortable. Ronnie fell right to sleep. Next thing he knew, Ronnie was running for his life from a dragon. The dragon was 7 feet tall with purple and yellow stripes. Ronnie was weaving in and out of tables and chairs, but the dragon was burning them to the ground just about as fast as Ronnie could run. As soon as Ronnie had gotten far enough from the dragon to be safe, he looked forward and saw the big bone that he forgot that was in the kitchen. He tripped over the bone and fell. The dragon was leaning over Ronnie, about to breathe fire on him, when he was rudely awakened by Buddy licking his face and barking in his ears. Ronnie jumped up and quickly ran out of the room. He ran down the stairs and into the kitchen where the Smiths were refilling their dogs' water bowls. Shocked as to how a dog that wasn't their own got into their house, both Smiths looked at each other and laughed. Finally, Terry said, "Ronnie, how did you end up in here? Linda must be so worried." Terry scooped Ronnie up in her arms and headed out the front door and down the street to Linda's house. After knocking on the door a few times, Terry noticed that the back gate was cracked open, so she decided to check in the backyard. Seeing his owner, Ronnie squirmed out of Terry's arms and ran to her. He gave her tons of kisses. He was thrilled to know that the terrifying dragon was just in his dream and that he was safe from all harm. Ronnie now understood that he should never run away from his owner, because next time, the dragon may be real and not in a dream. Linda thanked Terry for bringing Ronnie back safely and assured her that she will keep a closer eye on him. After returning home, Terry saw that Baxter and Lily were both chewing on their bones, and that Buddy couldn't find his. She gave Buddy a brand new bone, threw Baxter, Lily, and Buddy one treat each, and they all lived happily ever after. The end.